What do you
Would you like to collab with Pearly?
collab with Pearly?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. She's not my cup of tea. But
Facts. She was never y'all's cup of tea.
we tried to tell you that, didn't we? Didn't we? We tried to tell you that, didn't we? Y'all don't believe us though. No, you really want that white girl, don't you? No, we don't. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want that little stringy-haired, red-haired white girl, really? Don't you? Yes, you do.
That's how I felt.
You're lying. Yeah, I know.
That's how I felt.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You're lying.
Concrete, don't sit over here and just say, let me take.
I know.
You felt like that too, right?
Yes.
To be completely, yeah, but
what?
No, I felt like really and truly, like, you know how I feel like a black man a step on his mama neck when it comes to a white woman. Like, I don't shy away from that. You know how I feel about that.
See? That's
Come on now.
That's where it comes from.
Nah. Shout out to
belief, right? So a white girl comes.
But I'm just over Pearl. Like, I'm over her, but I do still feel like
I told you you want that white girl, didn't I?
Oh, because that's my built-in inferiority complex.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's some hoe ass.
You always gonna, Jermaine.
That's it. You got me.
I always gonna pick the white girl over me. Look at that. Told you.
I don't even mess with black men who would even look a white woman's way.
Where does that belief come from then?
What?
Because we will step on your neck to get to the white woman. Where'd that belief come
from? It's a well-known fact. What you mean? Experience.
No, it's not. White women are actually dangerous to black men.
Facts.
Okay, tell your brethren that.
I do. They know it. But that's like Becky has to do more to get him. She don't get him for free. She got to bend over.
Be nice. She got to be nice.
She got to be more than nice. No, Becky has to do way more to get him.
Now, in my experience, real talk, Becky did have to do way more. Like, I grew up in a town where the population was 0.5% minorities, and they only dated white women, but they let them drive their car. They gave them money. They gave them access to their credit cards. Like, them white girls gave black boys everything. Because and I'm 14, 15. I didn't have a car. I didn't have money to give them, and I wasn't giving it to them no way.
To deal with Becky, you're putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
To be with her. Every black man knows that. Donna Sharp says that in every video. It's a risk.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. She has to do more because she's dangerous to you.
Because
she's told you that she's dangerous to you. She's got to do more.
Wow.
Yeah. She has to.
I didn't know Donovan acknowledges that.
Oh yeah. He talked about when he his tags have to be in order. His lights have to be checked when he drives. I have a white woman in my car in white America. Okay, I will be stopped.
Wow.
I will be checked out. I could get killed behind her. If she has an argument with me, I have to leave. Okay. I can't have a mouthy white woman. Okay, I'll get hurt or killed. She has to be in order.
I've heard black men say that. There's a TikTok that went viral, like 3 million views, and a black man was saying that he's never even been able to truly voice his opinion if he had.
Look what happened to what's his name, the actor, with his white woman, right?
Majors.
Majors, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got out of the car.
He called the police.
He called the police. He got out of the cab and started walking. Called the police. He still gets tracked. Okay, they're dangerous. You're gonna mess with them. Okay, it had to be a long leash with white chicks. Okay, every black man knows that. They don't just go out and pick her, just because she's white. No, don't work that way. White woman walks up to you like, "What do you want with me? Why are you here?" Got to check her out.
This is a real conversation. You telling the real?
Yeah. So we don't actually run behind Becky. That's dangerous. Okay, you get hurt, killed. Becky screams, you're in trouble. We don't chase Becky. You can't. Not in this country. Becky has to chase you. If she doesn't, you don't go with Becky, okay? Because you will, and Becky's gonna pay a penalty too, just like Pearl did. Pearl paid the penalty for dating a black man, okay? She does.
What penalty do you think she paid for dating a white man outside of ostracization from her own people?
She to go where she needs to go. She had to clean up her image, right? That she's more pro-white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's why I think the Fuentes sacrifice was there. She knew what she was doing. White man warned her against it. Okay, she did what she thought she needed to do to get where she wants to go. So this is a setup. This is not something that's accidental. She made a conscious decision to have them on. Yeah, for a broader purpose. This is her blood sacrifice. We know you date black men. Okay, you're a night rider. We don't trust you. But Fuentes said, okay, we can trust you now. You had a racist on. Okay, all right, you're willing to go there. All right, yeah.
Hey, my brothers, back again. It's been a while. I think I'm gonna put this on my Black Pill Gnostic page. It seems to do better when I put it over there. The YouTube guys don't seem to hit me as bad over there where it belongs. I guess it's in the same vein and the same kind of feel, rather than on my Bitmore page. So this is where it's gonna go. If I did it correctly, the clip you just heard was from a breakdown, an interview I did with them on Sunday. And we're talking about something in particular. We're talking about white women and black men, and how black women feel the relationship between black men and white women are, rather than the reality. As you heard, if I did it correctly, she felt that black men wanted white women so badly that we would step on a black woman's neck. In other words, we'd do anything, damn near kill her, to crawl over her body to get to a white woman because we desired white women so much. And it doesn't matter what we say. That's the way they feel. And that's what's been passed down to black women for, God, generations. I've heard that ever since I was a little boy. I've heard that. And I've heard the denigrating terms they used to use for white women. And only when it came to their interaction with black men. The black women had no problem with interacting with the white women, like on the job, or their being the boss, or them interacting with them in the school. They had no problem with the white women. They didn't think of them the same way. In fact, they had white female friends. It only came to some kind of opposition when black men were actually involved. So when she said that, she said it so casually. And these are women that I helped train. So I've spoken to them. I've pointed them to stuff. I've helped enlighten them to some things. And yet that idea, that feeling still persists. So when she said it, as you can hear, I challenged her. I was like, where did that come from? Where did you get that? And she almost wanted to blow it off like it's out there. Like it's obvious. Can't you see it? Even though in her own experience, she knew it wasn't true. Like she said, she grew up in a mostly white city, mostly white town. She went to mostly white schools. But it's only a sprinkling or handful of black people in each school. And I simply told her that the reason that black men choose white women is because white women do more. They have to do more. I said because white women to black men are dangerous in this country. You can get very hurt and very dead when you interact socially or romantically with a white woman, because the whole country resents that pairing. It's not the same for Latina, even though Latins don't really like you messing with their women. The thing is, it's more acceptable. A white man, black woman pairing, which has been around forever. Go back and look at Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson forever. Doesn't get the same smoke because it's normalized. But a real social black man, white woman pairing is relatively very new, without a extreme public reaction. Even though it's been attempted over a couple of centuries, the pairing, it's always been contentious, and it still is. It's still taboo. even though it's normal. It's still taboo. But I was saying that black women believe that black men really lust after white women to the point where we will sacrifice our lives. And I saw that in the comment section, that the majority of black men will risk their lives to be with a white woman. And I simply told her that was not true. And she proved through her own experience that was not true. I've seen it myself because I've gone to white schools. I've seen the difference. And I know what you have to go through to be with a white woman or a white girl. Even today, most black men who think about dating white women or want to be with white women, for the most part, I'm not saying all, because you gotta, that's why it's being shout out to them. They go through it, but even they know to be around and with white women, especially if you're conventionally black, is a tenuous endeavor. It would be shocking that black women don't know that. I wouldn't logically come to that conclusion that, well, I already know. They don't think black men are smart enough to see it. That's the problem, which is another reflection of how black women really see us. Because the first thing they say, that fool, he don't care. He'll get himself, in a trick bag or in a casket messing with that white woman because he don't care, because he's too dumb to see it. That's what they really believe. And they have to mommy us and be paternalistic to us because we're too dumb, we're too ignorant to see danger. That's what they believe. They don't see on the other side that white woman has to conform herself and comport herself and give enough value to where a black man would actually mess with her. Most black men are scared shitless to a white woman's advance. Scared shitless. White woman approach you out of the blue on a public street and come towards you, start talking to you, you're going to be looking over your shoulder. I don't care who you are. If you're a black man, the first thing you're going to do, if it's not just some random, general conversation, you're going to look over your shoulder. Unless you're used to it, talking to a white woman is like talking to a cop. There's the element of danger there. It's not some random interaction. And guess who knows it? White women know it too. And that's the issue. That's why they know they have to do more. They have to be kinder. They have to be nicer. They have to do more. They have to be more helpful because they have to make you as a black man feel secure about being with them. They do. They have to do extra to convince black men to be with them. They do. They know it. And why do they know it? Because they know what their family says about black men. And they've heard the vitriol that can be lodged at black men, especially when they date white women. White women know that. That's why they know in certain circumstances, they cannot be loud. They cannot be aggressive. They cannot start a fight. One scream, even though she could have started the fight. She could have thrown the first punch. She could be the aggressor. And it doesn't matter. That black man knows if he lays hands on her, or it appears that he laid hands on her, they're not going to come after him. They're going to come after her. They're going to come after him. And they could put him in such a position where you get the wrong cop, the wrong day, that doesn't like interracial relationships, especially when it comes to black men and white women. That might be the day that you are no longer here. All it takes is one bad day, and you could follow Emmett Till. You could. Every black man in his heart of heart knows that. Not that it's likely to happen, but that element of it could happen is always there. Look at Jonathan Majors. He dates a white woman openly, right? And what black women hate it. Some white men hate it. But since he's a star, they accept it. He's in a cabinet in New York. He has a Rihanna and Chris Brown situation where some random woman texts him and she wants to look at his phone and he refuses. She starts a fight. Now, I don't know whether he had to put hands on her to get her off of him, which he probably did. He got out of the car. He called the police. He turned himself in. Does anything happen to her? Have they even mentioned her name? No. He gets all the backlash. His career is at stake just because a white woman decided to get upset and open her mouth. That's all she had to do. His whole multi-million-dollar, $100 million career is at stake because a white woman opened her mouth. Even though he got out of the car, he's got film evidence, he's got witnesses. Doesn't matter. And the first person to recant that story or tell exactly what happened is that white woman. But it doesn't matter. She knows she should have never started it in the first place. She knows that now. In the moment, she didn't. And that's just one minor detail. The New York City police could have hurt him. Even though he called, he turned himself in. They booked him. They arrested him. What if it wasn't New York City? What if it was some small town in Georgia? Some town in Mississippi? South Carolina? He possibly could not be breathing. And he's famous. They would treat him with kid gloves. Everybody knows it. Black men know it. That's why the idea that black men run after and chase behind white women en masse, people always come up with the exceptions. I go to this club and it's where white women are and we mix. And yeah, you go to this club where white women want to get down with black men. They're already on the agenda. Black men are not chasing after white women for the most part. The black men that date white women have gone to school. They've been socialized. They're in an arena where white women are there and they mix with them. So it's a natural occurrence because those are the women that are in their environment. And like I said, guess who knows it more than anybody else? More than the black man actually does is the white woman. She knows. She knows she has to do more. She knows she has to make the first move. She knows she has to be extra submissive and extra cooperative. Otherwise, if she barks in the least bit of way, black man's going to recoil and run the other way because he has to. So this idea that black men have all this white lust, all this lust for other kinds of women is not true because it has been drilled in our heads since we were little boys that to date anything outside of a black woman is dangerous. You will be hurt by everybody else. Black women in every other culture, the men of other cultures, if you try to date the women. And sometimes that is true. Latinos do not like you dating their women. Asians do not like you dating their women. They accept white men. But they do not like you dating their women. The thing is, they're not as opposed to it as white men in these Americas are. You can go to Europe and it's no big deal because there's not enough black people. Here in America, it can't be done. You can't do it. So a white woman has to want you enough for you to be with her, for black men to be with her. She has to. That's the appeal. And that's what black women do not understand. And I was telling the Concrete Rose that we're going back and forth with this because I hear it all the time. And there's a disconnect. You can see them trying to connect the two, trying to bridge that gap, but it was just that piece that was missing, the piece of the bridge that would not connect. Because I asked her, with the mating strategies that black women have, where they're aggressive, they can be mean, they can be dismissive, they can be acerbic in their language, all this kind of stuff, as a mating strategy. And it's normal because that's the way you're taught. You see your parents interact that way, you see your older cousins, you see your aunties and uncles act that way, see grandma and grandpa act that way. So it's normal. It's a normal thing. It's a normal way, what we call jonesing. It's a normal thing for us. It's part of our culture. I remember the comedian Daphne Springs. She admitted it. She said the white man and the black one are not culturally equal, right? She knows she can't be herself with that white man. He's not used to being told where to go or getting told or shut the fuck up or her being aggressive toward him. She's not used to that. He's not used to it. He won't take that. Like she said, he's white in America. Whereas a black man, she can be herself. She was just like her aunties, her mother, her grandmother, her great-grandmother, her great-aunties that's been passed down for 100, 150, 200 years. She can be that way towards him because what? he was trained to respond to her the same way. That's fine in a closed environment. What happens when you put your little black boys in mixed schools with white, Latina, and Asian, and they have a different mating strategy? Instead of you getting popped upside the head and her calling you a name and running off, they come up to you and tell you what their name is and introduce themselves. The first woman ever called me cute, I think said, "I think you're cute," is a white woman, a little white girl. I was in seventh grade. My mother had never told me, it said even as a little boy, that she thought I was cute. I never heard that shit from my mother or any one of my black relatives or any one of the black girls in my neighborhood. I never heard that. A white girl, especially nice. I was 12. I didn't know what to do with that. It's like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? She says she thinks I'm cute. What's wrong with her? I didn't realize that she was attracted to me. I didn't get that because it didn't compute with me, because it was opposite of all the mating strategies that I saw. Because I thought my mother and father hated each other. You would think that they hate each other, but that's normalized. When I grow up and I want a woman that really loves me, she gonna hate me. There was a scene in Avatar, where they connect to these winged birds, these winged creatures that fly, and they connect to them. And he was being trained on how to connect to this creature that's gonna, be his winged mate, so to speak. And he says, how do you pick the one that is for you? How do you pick the bird that's for you? He said, because it's going to try to kill you. So black men have been trying to square that circle, right? The woman that most intensely loves you is probably going to be the one that treats you the meanest in our brain. And our fucked up, excuse my language, social order, our social mating strategy. Why do black women love dogs? Because they treat them mean, and we've been trained that abuse is love. I had to learn that. I went to a white school, man, for most of my life, right? I didn't go to black schools. I didn't grow up going to black schools in the neighborhood, so I didn't get the chance to interact. That's how come I know that mating and dating is proximity. I never bonded to the women in my neighborhood because I didn't go to school with them. I didn't bond with them. So my interaction with black women is different. It's halfway, because I went to upper middle class, well-to-do white school where you had very rich people that had upper middle class management parents, and their kids went to the schools. Not only different races, but also different class of people. So when you come down and you have to live your regular life in your neighborhood and deal with working class black people, it can be a shock. So I've always been sensitive to class and race and the differences between class and race and the different cultural expressions of class and race. It took me a long time to learn that working class black women, in the way that I thought I was treated, they didn't see it the same way I thought I was treated. Our interaction, our power struggles. Even though I saw my mother and father go through the same thing, I thought it was hatred. Hell, like I said, I thought my mother hated my father. But the thing is, it took me a long time to realize she didn't hate him. She loved him. That is just the way they're taught to interact. That is their mating strategy. That's their culture. That's my culture. And I look back, man, years, man, like girlfriends that I gave up on in my 20s, my early 20s. In my 60s, they're calling and expressing how much they still love me. And it used to be baffling to me. When I got to be like in my 30s and realized that women I'd given up on because it was so contentious. I said, you treat me like shit, in my mind. That's their expression of love. And it was baffling to me. And I know this is a long ramble, and hopefully I've connected the dots, because I've gone off on a couple tangents in a couple different directions. And I hope you guys are patient enough to actually bring all this stuff together. It's connected. And the ultimate thing is that, as I said, is that black men in their mating choices and mating interactions is always centered around their culture. What baffles me is black women's belief, even though they raise us, they see the stuff in front of them. They see what white women do towards black men and how they go, because they say it in their mouths. Oh, you just want her because she's going to be more submissive. Yes. Oh, she's just going to be nice to you. Yes. She's actually going to do what you say. Yes. She's going to cater to you. Yes. She's just going to do what you say. Yes. What's wrong with that? But in a black woman's mind, that is a negative. That means she doesn't love you. In her mind, she's being false. She's pretending. She's trying to get over on you because she's being nice to you. She's being cooperative to you. She's working with you. She's trying to make you better. She's trying to be non-contentious and non-combative. To a black woman, most I'm not going to say all, most black women, that's a negative. Because black women see the way that they treat us, how they act, the way they think about us, the position they want to put us in, they believe that is love. That's what they are taught as expressing love. Concrete Rose said as much. I'll put the link in the description. You can go back and listen to the whole interaction for almost 3 hours. And that is the disconnect. Is their firm belief that in their mind, the treatment and the ideology and the dismissiveness and the combativeness and all the other stuff that they put upon black men is love. And all the positives, as the lead attorney calls it, green flags, the positive stuff is not love. It's false. She's tricking you. She's white she-devil. She's tempting you with all these goodies. And she doesn't really love you and love you like my mean old ass does. And they're serious. Men think that they're kidding. And they're not. They're serious. Concrete Rose, as nice as she is, and Concrete Rose, you can tell she's a very nice woman. I do believe Concrete Rose will not hurt a fly. But she is open enough. That's why I like Sister George and Concrete Rose, because they're open enough to tell the truth. They really are. Which is why they get skewered for it all the time, because they are telling the truth. The truth is hard to hear when you tell it to black men, and a mirror that they hold up is almost impossible to see when it's black women. Which is why their channel hasn't grown, and which is why they get attacked. I told them you get attacked because you're in the middle. Because they're open. They could be two-footed wrong, but the thing is they are actually being honest with themselves and being honest with you. A lot of stuff I hear out of their mouths that I think is wrong. I really do. I think is wrong. I think when they say it comes out of their mouth is wrong. But the thing is, they're honest about how they feel and what they think, which I appreciate. That's why I ride with them. Believe it or not, that's the reason I ride with them. You wonder why I ride with Concrete Rose and Sister George? Is because they're honest about how they feel and what they think. And that's rare in life, in America, and especially on social media. Anyhow, man, this has gone on long enough. And I hate trying to edit long shit like this. So I am going to end this, and I'm going to bounce off here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.